most of us do, a bit of perspective about what we're about and who we are. So I'd like to start my presentations with this experience. Encourage students to think about putting something on their desktop or their phone, which was just a shift in attention from feeling overwhelmed at times, which is sort of the normative word for your age group, to whatever else is next. So talking transitions. I'd like to say you never know when stuff might come in handy. You're going to hear a lot of information today and have already had a lot of information coming to you about your MISTI internship. And even if you take away one thing from today, we'll have made some progress. Because speaking about emotional experiences and the challenges in arriving somewhere where everything is new is often a challenge in itself. So you never know when stuff might come in handy. We'll go forward. I wanted to speak today about transitions and culture shifts because they're complex, more so than one might expect. It's one thing to imagine what's before you, and it's another thing to actually live and work abroad. An often unaddressed aspect of cultural transitions are the emotional challenges. I'm guessing that you've heard about the need to be flexible and resilient when outside of your comfort zone. But we don't often associate resilience with emotional skill sets. For example, we know that it's common for moods to shift when cultures shift. Saying goodbye to friends and family at the airport, feeling both some sadness from the goodbyes, as well as excited about going somewhere new. Within hours you arrive, trying to connect with a new city, people, work colleagues. It's a tall order for anyone. Feeling overwhelmed at times can become the norm. We know that emotions guide learning and drive learning. If you feel well, you're likely to learn well. Strengthening your capacity to recognize and stay curious about difference without getting overwhelmed is a key to your successful internship. This is what it means to be resilient. I like to call it getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. The emotional skill sets you develop and draw on as cultures shift will slowly become part of your global identity. I call this mindset and skill set an emotional passport, that you know that emotional shifts are essential to the process. Developing an emotional passport can help smooth transitions and engagements abroad. Each of us can look back when we've experienced new things and reflect that our best learning often comes when we've stepped out of that comfort zone, perhaps feeling confused or unsure, and then with guidance and practice, we move ahead. Over time, you'll learn to shift your path when other directions make more sense. You'll be able to listen and respond with curiosity when you hear languages you don't understand. And you will practice feeling amazed and appreciative about so many delightful places and people that at first seem so different. We hope that this introduction and the panel with your MIT classmates this evening will better prepare you for what's ahead. So I'm guessing that today is not day one. Most of you have been thinking about your MISTI internships for a long time, maybe since you were freshmen, or maybe you are a freshman, maybe for a very long time. And that's important because this is a process that connects you to probably your family stories when an ancestor came to the United States, perhaps on a tall ship. Some of you have those stories when someone arrived in any ship. And perhaps many of you have family stories of arriving in the United States on a plane, or perhaps walking in. Most of these transitions were one-way journeys, people settling into complex environments, needing time to make sense of the language, customs, and relationships. It's now a global world, and you're part of it. Journeys have a different complexity and responsibility. We are more often sojourners. This means coming for a short stay. Learning from our host cultures, host employers, who are indeed your cultural mentors. This is part of our transitional history. So now, for a few minutes, I'm going to have you be patient with me because I'm borrowing from a fable called The Three Princes of Serendip, and I've modernized it a bit. It would be a short story about three princes who went somewhere. Okay. In ancient times on the island of Serendip lived a great king named Jafar who had 3 sons. He decided he wanted to retire early, so he asked his first son to take over the kingship. The son said he wasn't ready to be king and he refused the offer. The other 2 sons also declined. The king felt very disappointed, deciding that his sons needed to broaden their education beyond the arts and sciences, so he sent them away from Serendip to learn about the world. The brothers headed out. After some days, they came to a crossroads. The middle son, who didn't want to tell the other 2, was beginning to feel like he wanted to go back. The older son was ready to charge out, he didn't care what path. And the last son thought they should camp there for a few days and wait till someone came by. In the end, they headed out. And after a few days, the princes met a camel driver who stopped them on the road to ask if he had seen one of his camels. They had seen one of his camels. The princes responded boldly, "Yes, we saw your camel up the road. She's missing a tooth. She's blind in one eye and dragging a leg behind her." The camel driver went off. After a fruitless search, the camel driver returned to the princes, concluding that, since the princes knew so much about the missing camel, they must have stolen it. The princes are then imprisoned by a local chieftain, and it's only after a neighbor finds the camel that the princes are released. Once freed, the princes are brought before the chieftain, who says, "How did you give such an accurate description of a camel you've never seen?" The princes told him how they had interpreted the scant evidence observed along the road. And these were the 3 points. 1, as the grass had been eaten only on one side of the road, they deduced that the camel was blind to the other side that was more grassy. 2, because there were lumps of chewed grass on the road the size of a camel's tooth, the princes surmised that grass had fallen through the gap left by a missing tooth. And 3, the track showed the prints of only 3 feet. The 4th being dragged, indicating that the animal was hurting more people. So the princes carried on. They were so excited, they wrote home to their father the king, sharing news of their first adventure. And what happened when their father responded? It was a complex landscape, much more so than the 3 princes had imagined. Assumptions can be challenged in a different culture. Here's what the dad wrote. "Dear sons, you've been so clever solving the camel puzzle. So observant and curious. Trying to help, yet thrown in jail on a whim? Your cleverness, so admired at home, got you into a bit of trouble. But luckily you were rescued by a friendly local neighbor. Next time, what would you do?" What this story leaves out, a more complex process of living and learning and working abroad. Did they ever doubt their decision to leave home in the first place? What did they worry about? Were they ever homesick? What did they do when they felt uncertain about where to go or what to do? Did they ever ask anyone for help? So, back in 2017, here's a young student who has an internship at one of the MISTI sites. She's been there for about a week, maybe even 3 weeks. And she's one who planned very well, had everything in order. But for the first time, she's had a few days where she's really feeling kind of rattled and uneasy, kind of confused, something she hadn't experienced before. And she didn't know really what to do and was feeling rather embarrassed to ask for help. She really didn't want to fail at her internship. This image here is a bit of a representation of the human brain, so bear with me because I'm not a neuroscientist, but I think this is useful for internships abroad. In the right and left hemisphere, I'll start there. This is where our language center is. The human species has language in its left hemisphere. Our right hemisphere is nonverbal. Our sort of emotional center sits there. It's where we can feel disappointed or confused or amazed. And what we know now is that when we feel overwhelmed, it can be in front of a sunrise where you just don't know what to say, it's so amazing, or in front of a difficult situation where you don't know who to ask for help. When you're overwhelmed, the language center goes offline. So in English, we would say, when we have an amazing or overwhelming moment, I don't know what to say. It's really happening in our brain. We get kind of rattled with our capacity to have complex thinking and problem solving. So this image, I'm going to show you a little bit more clearly. and how I say it is intense emotions in the right hemisphere, or just arriving somewhere new, can inhibit linear problem solving. So this is an important skill and thing you should take with you. When you're feeling overwhelmed, we'll talk in a minute about what kind of skills will help you bring that language and planning center back online. So this is an image. Let me just look at it this way. When everything is new, it's easy to feel out of balance and out of energy. And this is probably what it's like right this week for all of you. It's easy to feel out of balance and out of energy. Things aren't necessarily new, but I'm guessing that many of you feel overwhelmed as the semester ends. So abroad, most students are quite keen on the exploring part of the adventure. Yes, the internship's important and pretty central, but both at your workplace and in your country and your environment, it's normal to feel curious and want to travel and engage others. But there's other responsibilities. Here, your problem sets, exams, and papers. Abroad and here as well, you have to figure out how to get into a routine. What worked for you as freshmen when you arrived here is probably something you want to think about, because when you go abroad, you want to take the skills you already have with you. When one arrives, one is often so overwhelmed that you forget that you already know how to settle into a routine, such as figuring out an exercise plan, remembering to eat, remembering to sleep, not too common for college students, finding some quiet moments, and other aspects that are important. It's really common abroad to think about and worry about not just your internships, but future jobs. And probably the most significant area of concern that I've experienced with college students is they worry about the relationships at home and abroad, how to keep connected, how to make new friends. So there's a lot on your plate.